Water, water, water. In this place, we have it coming in a variety of places, which is why this homeowner contacted A&A Masonry to look after it all, not only inside, but outside as well. I'm going to show you very quickly how water has affected several different components of the exterior of this house, as well as affect the living space on the inside, and why it's important to get it handled from all different areas so that this homeowner can enjoy a beautiful, warm, dry home. Follow me, I'm going to show you around.
A&A Masonry, an award-winning company servicing the Greater Toronto Area and the Golden Horseshoe.
Now I'm inside the basement or the ground level on these particular type of designs of homes. And the homeowner originally called in because they were getting water in the center of the basement. So they weren't thinking it was coming from the exterior. They had some original bathroom here where the plumbing was covered up in the floor work. And they assumed that it may be coming in from several different areas. They really didn't have a full understanding. As I assessed this property with the homeowners, I could see that there were some areas where the exterior foundation was vulnerable. If it's dripping down, getting under the floorboards and the area between the finished floor and the concrete floor itself, it's going to typically want to draw towards the drain, which is just over to the left of me here. And this is the exterior wall. So once we pulled this up, this all had to be remediated for mold and everything else like that. Again, these are certain things that A&A can fully do. We're fully competent on doing all these things after we are addressing with the exterior as well. So we're going to prevent the water from coming in. And we have to replace this so the homeowner can take over, again, a nice dry home. Now I'm going to take you to the outside and show you where the water is originating from.
The next step in this project is addressing the real issue behind the damage, the source of the water. In this case, the problem starts along the exterior foundation wall, especially around the basement window openings, which are naturally one of the most vulnerable points in any home. Over time, small hairline cracks begin to form. Water seeps in, expands, and eventually works its way into the basement living space. That's exactly what we found here. Multiple points of entry, allowing water to travel beneath the foundation and into the interior. From there, it spreads under the flooring, behind baseboards, and leads to the kind of moisture damage and mold you see inside the home. In this case, it wasn't just one isolated issue. We identified several areas where water was actively penetrating the foundation. Because of utilities like the gas line running through this area, this work has to be done by hand to ensure everything is handled safely and precisely. Once we reach the foundation, the surface is cleaned and prepared. We then repair all cracks using hydraulic cement, rebuilding and reinforcing the structure to restore its integrity. After that, a full waterproofing system is applied, sealing the foundation and protecting it from future water intrusion. When this process is complete, the foundation is fully protected, up to code, and built to prevent water from ever reaching the interior again. There's another source of water we need to address, and it starts with the retaining wall at the front of the property.
Now here's the final stage, and I get these calls a lot where I have to come in and look at and assess a retaining wall. And people always ask, why do these things fail, or it's just a matter of time? That's not the case if you're handling the water on the inside or the subgrade foundation wall, where you can move the water by it, around it, under it, without it having any kind of negative effect on this material. So we're going to remove this retaining wall, these wood ties as they're called. But more importantly, you can see where their grading is much higher and it's throwing the water over. Again, it's causing an unintended consequence, which is to cause this retaining wall to fail over time. So we're going to scrape all this soil back, bring it back to a normal grading, also to where we can handle and manage the surface water to keep it away from the retaining wall. The homeowner's taking this opportunity not to just do a repair, but to do a more transformative thing for the exterior aesthetic look of the house. And we at A&A Masonry, we love these type of jobs because we really get to put our name forward and really beautify these homes on a water repair. We're going to do a nice exposed aggregate retaining wall, and we're also going to carry that over the steps. We're going to run a walkway along where we've done the exterior waterproofing, and we also have some tuck pointing, which is where the water has eroded the mortar joints in between the bricks at the level of the staircase going up. Nice thing about A&A Masonry is that these are all our crews. We handle it from A to Z, and this homeowner is really important that he was out of town. and he wants to know that the company that he's hiring can handle all of that. So from the inside, the outside, we'll have this job wrapped up in as little as a week, maybe a little bit more, and the homeowner will have a beautiful transformation exterior look to their house just for handling water.
When it comes to older steps like these, we get a lot of calls from homeowners asking the same question. What can we do that actually lasts? Over time, tile finishes start to fail, surfaces wear down, and the whole entrance begins to look dated. In this case, we had several options, but the best solution was to resurface the existing steps with concrete and finish it with an exposed aggregate. This allows us to create one clean, consistent look that ties in perfectly with the surrounding walkway. We're also able to apply the same finish over the coping. And because we have the proper height to work with, we can safely build up the surface by a few inches while still staying within code. The result is not only structurally sound, but also creates a much smoother transition from the door to the landing. Instead of stepping down awkwardly from the doorway, you now have a clean, solid, and visually seamless entrance that feels safe and looks great. On this project, we're working efficiently to get the job done as quickly as possible, while still making sure everything is completed properly. At the same time, we're addressing areas like the tuck pointing, where water has already started to take its toll. That's where A&A Masonry really stands out, combining structural integrity with high-quality finishing that restores both function and appearance. Once everything is complete, this entire entrance is going to look clean, cohesive, and built to last.
All right, I want to bring you down to the corner here on the front and have you look at what we sometimes will discover upon doing a job. Originally, we decided we could just pour over the steps. They seemed to be in good integrity and so forth. But when we got to this side of it, we started pulling the tiles off. We realized that there was a huge pocket. You can actually see under the stairway there. There's a huge void and gap. Originally, that was a subgrade or an aggregate under there. They put mesh and then they frame and pour the concrete. Well, like an hourglass of sand, water has eroded and moved that away. And we know that because they were getting water in the cold room in addition to the side wall. And again, this is what I was talking about, where water will use every vulnerable spot to attack a house once it finds a way and if it isn't managed and handled correctly. So we've decided to go and rip this entire structure out, get to the footings, which we've got. They're intact, look good. We also found 1 and 2 other areas where the water has actually been seeping in and getting through the tile and through the front stoop of this house. We're going to patch that up, make sure it's watertight. Then we're going to come in here, fill it with a proper aggregate, frame and pour a proper set of stairs. It's going to look great, but again, this is all handling water. So you really have to be very aware of when you're doing these type of jobs that we're handling the water so it will not seep in or cause something unintended down the road and a very expensive cost to repair something like that. All right, here we are at the retaining wall, and if you remember, it was the wood ties. We've stripped that away. We've also pulled all the soil out. We wanted to get the ground back to normal so it wasn't cresting and pushing the water onto the side of the retaining wall, and it just wasn't managed properly. So we've taken all that soil out. We brought it closer down to normal, the grade of this neighborhood. We have a nice footing here behind me of the original retaining wall. We're going to be able to build on top of that. And we've also have some returns that we're going to push into the soil itself, subgrade, and that's going to counter the force that the soil is going to want to push up against the retaining wall. That water management, a nice exposed aggregate finish, this is going to look beautiful and it's going to last. Again, because we're handling the water and we're also addressing any kind of force that it may have laterally, because we're going to have these returns, which are basically protruding into the soil of the front yard. I want to show you one other thing with the steps, and then we'll go inside. Okay, I just wanted to show you a slight change that we had to do here at the stairs. Originally, the plan was to pour the aggregate concrete and finish over top of the original set of stairs and patio. And upon discovery, we realized that there was not enough thickness in the concrete. And if we had poured over top, it was only slightly about 2 inches, but if we had poured over top of that, there would have been a probability that it could crack. And that's something we certainly don't want to have happen. So we're going to remove this concrete slab and steps. It'll also give us the ability to frame and pour a proper set of stairs. These are offset a little bit. We could have compensated for that. But this way we can ensure a nice ascending and descending for the homeowner here for the steps to be in proper code and very uniform as they go up and down the steps. All right, I wanted to bring you inside the basement because I wanted to show you just some of the things. Again, it's all about quality. It's all about really doing the job properly. And once you assess what is happening, correct it, and taking ownership of it, so that is the water, where we had it coming through this window here, getting underneath the floor, more so under the window behind me in the bedroom, and moving towards the center of the floor, just destroying all the underlayment of different wood and the subfloor. And we ripped all that stuff out. We had somebody come in, do a nice subfloor. We did a couple things different as well. There's, again, different ways to use materials or different types of materials. And I can tell you, just by standing on this floor and walking into this space in the house, it actually feels very, very solid, very warm, very cozy. And that's because some of the products that we use, like this example is the styrofoam that we did with the subfloor when we're building it up. And we do strapping, about 1 inch or 3/4 inch strapping together with insulation. And we make sure that it has, again, an additional insulation factor, but it's not going to attract any condensation that's naturally going to just come through the concrete floor. There's plastic beyond that, but again, it's just another layer on there. And this on top just makes it a little bit more silent and stuff like that when you're actually walking on this. And again, the other component to this is the thickness of the plywood that we use in 3/4 inch. So lots of ways that you can use simpler or a thinner wood. It's less expensive, but you may feel like you're almost bouncing on this material, and it really makes this simple linoleum floor just stand out and feel very, very comfortable for the homeowner who's going to be living down here.
And now, with all the work complete, this home is fully protected, free from water issues, and built to last. From the inside out, everything has been upgraded. A new exposed aggregate retaining wall beside the driveway, beautiful front steps and porch, and a seamless walkway that wraps around to the back of the home. Behind the scenes, the waterproofing and tuck pointing have been done right, and the basement is now completely restored, clean, dry, and free of water damage. This is the A&A experience, a dedicated team of production managers and expert crews backed by years of hands-on experience across every aspect of home renovation. It's why A&A Masonry continues to be one of the most trusted choices across the GTA, delivering top quality work that handles all your home improvement needs. On our channel, you'll find a wide range of projects and playlists designed to inspire your next renovation. If you're planning a project, start here. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow along for more ideas to bring your home to life. To schedule your next project, contact A&A Masonry today.